Hello for everyone, I am Sabrina Suluai-Mahuka, and if you are just now tuning in, we are now covering the third lesson that I learned along the way to my journey for community leadership. And again, my journey began with trying to provide service, that help, that assistance that my students needed and those that were around me needed. And the lesson that we're going to be focusing on today is elevate others, but also elevate yourself. And I know this kind of maybe sounds a bit egotistical, but it's not if you think about it in the long term. Um, and so when we're talking about elevating others, let's just get that very clear. It's not just hyping them up, but it's also giving them the opportunities to build their own skills, if that's public speaking, if that's research, if that's being in a space with other leaders so that they in turn can also be leaders. That is what we mean by elevate others. It's not just empty words like, oh, you can do it. Oh, I'm so proud of you. That is great, right? Words of affirmation do go a long way, but supporting them and finding the opportunities for them and pushing them towards like the limelight, that is what it means to elevate others. And so in the next few slides, I'll be able to showcase that a little bit more. So the first one is this opportunity with my high school students. I was able to take 4 high school students to Samoa to represent our entire territory at the United Nations Child Rights Committee, where, as you can see in this picture, it was them who were doing all the talking. And so I was literally just a support system. I was helping them find their research and just focusing on like what the prompts were or what the focus of the workshop was. And I helped in that capacity. But again, the goal is to elevate others. And so I was the stage and not the star. The star were my students. And here you can see that's Sam. Sam was very passionate about sharing his perspective of, what it means to be a Pacific Islander, especially a youth in the Pacific Islands, experiencing climate change, experiencing the effects of pollution and littering. And then you can see next to him is Yasmina, who is patiently waiting for the mic because she also wanted to share. This is a fantastic example of how you can elevate our youth. You give them the skills, you guide them so that when they have a seat at the table, they are more than capable of holding that space, of representing our territory. It's not me controlling what they're saying. It's not adults saying, oh, don't say that, or all their answers came from their own minds. It's what their perspective was. I just guided them to say, hey, this is the local research. This is what's going on, right? I'm guiding, but I'm not controlling. I'm letting them do the work. And in turn, they actually learn a lot more that way because it's them who's in charge of their own learning. Another example was this exchange program that we had with Samoa. This was with the Young Pacific Leaders Small Grants Program in 2019. You can see in this picture, we have representatives from ASEPA who hosted us with a tour because we did want to show our sister island representatives the amazing things that ASEPA is doing, but also their LEEDs approved building, which is actually pretty amazing if you think about it. And so in this capacity, we were able to host students from Samoa and 2 advisors, and also a parent came along as well. And then we were also able to engage our own students so that they can connect and explore what kind of efforts each island is doing. And that whole exchange program, it was a few days here and a few days in Samoa, but we learned so much about what our 2 islands are doing. And that was empowering because one, we're a 30-minute flight away from each other, but we are so disconnected in what we're doing. Samoa is doing amazing work. American Samoa has their own efforts as well. And the goal is that we connect collectively so that we're more powerful and our impact is more effective. And so we're still trying to build that connection with each other. And until this day, we're still in connection with some of the participants and, of course, the advisors. So that is definitely another way to empower and to elevate others. Just continuing on that thread of the exchange program, this is another example of how we were able to bring our students to Samoa and visit the SPREP office, regional office there. And that was pretty amazing because our own island only has like local representation, and so just to be in a space regionally for the Pacific Climate Change Center, that was something that our students would not have had the opportunity to engage in the first place. And on that picture in the right, we were also able to explore the library there and pick a few resources for the students to bring home, from posters to stickers to books. um, those were helpful because our own students were able to, again, be in control of their own knowledge and their own learning, and then in turn have that willingness to share what they learned and share their resources with their peers on island. Another way that you can elevate the youth, or just elevate people in general, is to actually have them get their hands dirty, have them experience what it means to be stewards of the land, to be doers and agents of change. An example of that is when we were partnering with the Forestry Division for land grants. We work closely with our Vice President of Finafinau, which is also the Forestry Supervisor, DJ Senate. And you can see here our students, this is after, so they were pretty tired. They were able to plant about 75 fruit trees in this land plot, which was quite amazing because we were able to get that done in less than 2 hours. And these were the same seedlings from our own Finafinau plant nursery. And so, they planted them from seeds and they built them up, nurtured them, and they were ready to go out into the community. Of course, free of charge. We don't, we're a nonprofit. But this way, they were able to foster that feeling of sustainability and promoting food security, planting trees, getting their hands dirty, and it was more meaningful to them. If someone else planted the trees for them and say, okay, yeah, that's fine, that, go trees. But in this capacity, they are putting their effort and dedication in there, and so it means more to them than if anyone else did it. Just a closer look again. Oh, actually, we were able to plant 75 fruit trees in 1 hour. They moved quite fast. I think we had about 20 student participants and maybe 5 from land grants, and then a few of our advisors there. We were able to plant guava, lime, and lemon in this land plot. And so that is an example of how you can elevate others, right? Very easy opportunities, but they are meaningful. That's what you want. They are very meaningful opportunities for our youth to learn. And you can see what we did. It didn't require a lot of money for like tree planting. We did get a grant for the student exchange program, but the goal was that the money and the effort is all going to our youth. And so when we're talking about youth-centered or youth-focused or empowering the youth, this is what we're talking about. It's our youth who's going out and learning. It's our youth who's going out and doing. They're not sitting around. They're not engaging in, activities that aren't meaningful. And so again, easy to elevate others, but you have to also remember to elevate yourself. This is important because, it's multifaceted. One, you have to be able to build that community trust. The parents, the representatives, the villages, the teachers, the administrators, organizations, they have to be able to say, oh, that's such and such. Yeah, she does a lot, or she or he does a lot of work with the community, or does a lot of work with the youth. So yes, let's build that partnership. Let's support them in their efforts to plant 75 fruit trees in 1 hour. Let's support them in their effort to provide a tour of our LEED approved building. Without that community trust, it's very difficult to find and to push for opportunities for others. And so it's basically your foundation. An example of that is here. I was the first, I was the first Pacific Islander, I was going to say American Samoan, first Pacific Islander to win the EE30 under 30 award, and that's with the North American Association for Environmental Education. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that at the time of the application. And then, of course, I was also the Teacher of the Year for American Samoa, which was pretty amazing because I was able to travel to DC. And on the right, you can see Dr. Biden with me. She was an amazing speaker, but also a good role model because she is actually an educator herself. So she understands what it means to, be in the classroom and work with the youth or work with upcoming transitioning into adulthood. I was also surprised because we weren't supposed to, but we were able to meet this guy right here.
Aloha.
That's Hawaii.
I thought that's what you said.
Talofa.
Oh, Talofa.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, by the way, every morning I'd walk in when Barack was president and I was vice president, I'd sit next to him.
Oh, that's right.
He'd say the same thing. So you know what the temperature in Hawaii is right now? 76 degrees.
Yeah.
Every morning. You know what I mean?
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Talofa.
Aloha.
That's
So that was
Hawaii.
one of my
I thought that's what you said.
Talofa.
Teacher
Oh,
of the Year.
Talofa.
Yes,
We were
yes.
just supposed to take
Well, I said, by the way, every
pictures as a
morning I'd
group,
walk
but I was
in
able
when
to
Barack
bring my
was
phone and
president,
just
I was
kind
vice president,
of
I'd
go
sit
right next to him. I'm
He'd
not
say the same
physically
thing. So you know what the temperature in
threatening, so
Hawaii
I
is
was
right
able
now?
to just kind of get
76 degrees.
Yes.
Every morning.
and yes, he did say aloha, and while I love
Hi, everybody.
Hawaiian people,
Aloha.
I wanted to make sure that he
Hawaii.
understood that
I thought that's what you said.
was just for
Talofa.
American
Oh,
Samoa.
Talofa.
Yes,
Okay.
And I can go to
Well, I
the
said,
White House
by the way,
and
every morning
represent
I'd
my
walk in
island.
when Barack
And so
was
that was
president, I was vice president, I'd sit next to him.
But even
He'd
more
say the same
important to
thing.
me
So you know what the temperature in
in this
Hawaii is right
space
now?
was being able to follow in my mother's footsteps. In 2010, my mom went to the White House. She met President Barack Obama, and you can see that we are wearing the same ofu, the same puatasi, and I just felt very honored to be able to uphold her values as an educator, and just just represent our entire territory at this space. And so I'm sharing this not to toot my own horn or anything, but because these are some of the experiences that I've had personally. And now when I'm trying to build partnerships with other organizations or individuals, I'm able to use this foundation, use these awards as a platform to say, hey, do you think that we can partner up for this program or for this project that we're focusing on? And, people are going to ask like, oh, who are you? What have you done? So it's important to have that backup to say, oh, actually, I have these credentials to support what I'm doing. You're not just working with some random person. And so again, elevate others, but you have to elevate yourself first, because without doing that, there's no community trust, there's no foundation. And so in closing, the goal is that, again, it's easy to help others. It's easy to show, effort and dedication to others. But in the long term, you also have to think about yourself. Show yourself the same kindness, the same compassion, the same patience, dedication, and effort that you give others. You have to also give it to yourself. And in that way, you become an empowered person, and it's a circle. Empowered people empower other people. Okay, that's the goal. And I hope that we continue to see that cycle of empowerment. And don't forget to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. Thank you.